All right, so I'll be talking about cross-chain abstraction today. We live in a world which has a lot of variability. We have new chains popping up all the time, new innovations, new virtual machines, and this is a good thing. We like the diversity. The reason that we have innovation in the first place is because new technologies can launch and then gain new users through these permissionless means that we like in Web3. And what this ends up with, though, is for the user's point of view, you have treacherous terrain that you have to cover, and you end up with just wanting to do one small thing on an application. You have to do 10 steps, go to like 5 different websites. You're worried about getting hacked, get gas, whatever. We all know this so well. It's actually been a problem since back in 2020 when we started seeing chains other than Ethereum launch. And I'll be talking about how to solve this problem today. So you think that one chain where you can keep all your assets and put all of your expressions of your intents, like whatever you want to do, would be the answer. But I think that is slightly myopic. What this might look like is, I'll just see if I can go back with this pointer. I can. So we want this diversity, right? We don't want Mordor to become the only ruler of the entire Middle Earth, or one technology to rule everything. In Web 2, we have Visa and MasterCard are the only payment rails for everything, and we're locked into this technology, which is from the 70s. We want the infrastructure layer to be just as permissionless as at the application layer, where you can plug any smart contract into any other smart contract. And so we need to go back to what's important so we can build cross-chain in the same way that Bitcoin was originally built. So Bitcoin gave us ownership, true ownership, where no one can take a value away from you, and you can use that value to transact with whoever you want, however you want. That's what I'm defining as interoperability here. Bitcoin actually had amazing interoperability in the sense you could send money to anyone or receive it from anyone. And when Ethereum came along, this goes up a layer, and you have ERC20s, where you have different currencies like USDT and Ethereum. And interoperability here requires a market. And that's what Uniswap gave us. It gave us interoperability at one derivative up away from Bitcoin. So we have Ethereum, ERC20s, Uniswap, allowing us to transact with anyone in any currency. And the quest of the day is we have cross-chain, and how do we have true interoperability now, not only with different currencies, but different virtual machines, different gas models, different ways of getting data. And what that looks like is a combination of all of the layers below. So Uniswap's involved, ERC20s are involved, but now we have bridges and cross-chain swap applications and APIs. And I'm from a project called Squid, which we do cross-chain APIs and developer tools. And Axelar is a project we work really closely with, who's a bridge and general message passing protocol. So this is how I've broken it down. Like, consensus is essentially social consensus enforced through protocols, and you bring that all the way up to Ethereum's protocol and now cross-chain protocols. And with the market, Squid's handling cross-chain swaps, Uniswap's handling on a single chain. And really importantly, the application layer is exactly the same from the user's point of view. They shouldn't have to be aware of any of the stuff happening underneath. So you may think or have heard that intents are the answer to this problem, and intents are great. This is a provocative title, but they're not the full answer. And it's evident, especially with meme coins, where an intent market is less likely to pick up liquidity and pick up sort of demand for a meme coin so early on. Something like pump.fun is a transaction model, and it allows anyone to enter the space with a little bit more censorship resistance than intents. And if we think of intents as the solution to back at the start, you might think we have one chain where you express your intent, you keep all your value there, and then solvers go and magically do all your actions for you, you lose a bit of the ownership because you're now trusting a bridge to own a bunch of your assets, and also this intent layer gets a bit of lock-in. It's whatever the intent layer can support, or whichever bridges it supports, determine the only chains that you can interact with. And you want to be able to download a new wallet and interact with the chain if you want to. So intents aren't the full answer, but they do give us really good properties for cross-chain. They speed everything up and give you almost instant settlement, and they let you get off-chain liquidity, which is great for when you have assets which are also supported on Binance and other exchanges. You get similar prices. We use intents in Squid. This is a roller coaster that we sponsored because in the bear market we couldn't afford to sponsor an F1 car, and we had a race with all of our users, and people were hitting sub-second cross-chain swaps, and people have saved years at this point using intents on Squid. And so intents are part of the answer, but the issue is that with true abstraction and being able to absorb all of this change, you have all of these things that the solution needs to handle. It's like gas, different virtual machine, wallets, different liquidity, different token types, getting balances, how do you get data, transaction roll-ups, like putting everything into a single click. And this is all that you have to do now, but imagine, ZK is going to probably create some amazing cross-chain opportunities. You'll need a system which adapts to all of the new innovation that's coming. So I think the answer is actually to use a combination of developer tools which are able to constantly change as well. And that's how we're approaching it at Squid. We have an API which gives you these transaction rollups, and that's constantly absorbing new types of DEXs, new bridges, new cross-chain methods. An Explorer API which aggregates all the explorers, different RPC data. We have indexing across like 60 or 70 chains. We use intent models, we use transaction models. We have hooks for doing things like buying an NFT on another chain. Anyone can program whatever they want. And we have SDKs on the front end side, because you have different wallets. You have to get balances on the front end. Like, there's just so much complexity always happening that I think a constantly changing set of dev tools is the answer. And these are some of the use cases. It's all the same as single chain, but you can do it cross-chain. We've built our own checkout where you can buy any NFT on OpenSea in one click with any token in your wallet. And we've built a chat-based interface where you can just type whatever you want to do, and you can do that on any chain. So you can build the same applications as single chain. And yeah, that's all. I'd love to chat to anyone if you have questions, but thanks for having me.
Thank you. We do have time for a few questions, so
Sure.
If anyone wants to make some, feel free to. Otherwise, yeah, Fig.
We got one.
Sorry. I didn't saw you.
Thanks for the presentation. That was good. You mentioned about buying an NFT on another chain. I wanted to ask an example. Say I have funds on chain. I'm on chain A, and there's a platform on chain B, and I have funds on this chain A. Can I, using that SDK, buy something on chain B, given that I'm on A and with funds on A?
Yeah, exactly. The way that we do it is with we call them post hooks. So you get the call data for purchasing the NFT on a single chain, and you pass that in as the post hook. And then in front of that, you have the route for the swap between the token you have and the token you need to buy it. So in this case, say I have Magic on Arbitrum and I want to buy a Milady on Ethereum. What's happening here is you get a quote for swapping Magic and ETH across chain, and then you add the post hook for buying the NFT, which is just a normal, like, buy on OpenSea. And yeah, it happens in under 20 seconds. You just buy it as you would normally. Yep, with any token.
Anyone else? Okay. Well,
good?
thank you so much
Thank
for your
you.
presentation again.
No worries.
A round of applause.